Assalamualaikum and good morning to the office. Today we're going to present about problem-based task 1 for subject ISM. Without wasting any time, let's move on to the next slide. My name is Muhammad Aisnan Rabin Sasuddin and this is my teammate. So for introduction, we have developed a comprehensive risk management plan in response to the recent data security breach at Malaysia Airlines Berhad. This incident potentially exposed the personal information of enriched frequent flyer program members spanning from March 2010 to June 2019. The compromised data include names, date of birth, contact detail, frequent flyer numbers, status and tier levels. Our primary objective is to systematically address the risks associated with this breach, ensuring the organization resilience and maintaining customer trust. To achieve this, we will identify vulnerabilities, assess potential impacts, and implement effective risk response strategies. By doing so, we aim to minimize the consequences of this incident. Let's move on to the next slide. There are 4 purposes of the risk management plan. The first one is identification and assessment. First, truly check the breach to see how big it is and what problem it might cause. Figure out what kind of data got compromised, how long it happened, and how many people are affected. This helps make a good plan to deal with the problem in a way that fits what's happening. Next is mitigation strategies. We make the breach less harmful by strengthening security, stopping it from getting worse, informing people quickly, giving advice, working closely with others, and fixing problems quickly to rebuild trust. Next is communication and reporting. We need to have clear communication internally and externally, follow regulations, and maintaining transparency, build trust, and demonstrate accountability in managing data security issues. Lastly, monitoring and review. Dealing with a data breach doesn't end once you've taken action. We keep a close eye on things to make sure our fixes are working and watch out for new problems. Regular checkups and learning from what happened to help us get better at handling tough situations. By staying alert and flexible, we can change our plan as needed and lower the chances of similar issues happening again. Let's go to the process. The first one is identifying risks. To manage project risk, we first find them by analyzing the project plan for potential issues that could affect timelines or goals. Risk can be negative, for example, threats, or positive, for example, opportunities. Identify using historical data and experience. Next is analyzing risks. After identifying risks, we analyze them by checking how they might affect the project. We look at how likely they are to happen, how bad the consequences could be, and the overall risk level. Understanding risk helps prioritize and use resources wisely. Then, creating a risk response plan. A risk response plan details action to reduce negative project risk. The Malaysia Airline data breach likely involved notifying affected members, securing resources, and assigning risk owners to manage the situation. Moreover, implementing the response plan. After making the risk response plan, we put it into action. Malaysia Airlines confirmed their IT system weren't affected but advised enriched members to change password. This involved communication, coordination, and checking to make sure the plan works. Lastly, monitoring and evaluating risk. We keep an eye on risk to see if our response is working and adjust the plan if needed. In the airline industry like Malaysia Airlines, staying vigilant is crucial. They ensure no misuse of data and stay proactive in protecting customer information. That's all from me. I will pass to Hanif Sabri.
Thank you, Aishnazan. Now I will present about risk identification. We have 5 components of it, such as data breach, third-party service provider vulnerability, long duration of exposure, potential identity theft, and future cybersecurity risks. All of this can happen because the data breach involves unauthorized access to personal data of enriched member, including sensitive information like name, date of birth, contact detail, and frequent flyer data, posing a risk of exposing this data to unauthorized parties. The breach occurred at a third-party IT service provider, imposing the risk associated with outscoring critical function. The prolonged exposure from March 2010 to June 2019 increased the likelihood of exploitation, potentially leading to identity theft or fraudulent activities. This incident underscore weakness in Malaysia Airlines cybersecurity infrastructure, highlighting the need for enhanced measures to prevent future cyber attack. Next, I will present about risk analysis. The likelihood of significant data security incident occurring is high given the compromise of personal information of enriched member from March 2010 to June 2019. Compounded by involvement of a third-party IT service provider. The impact is severe, encompassing sensitive data such as name, dates of birth, contact detail, and frequent flyer data, posing risks of identity theft, fraud, and reputational damage for Malaysian airlines. The 9-year duration of exposure escalates the risks, leading to ongoing threats even after addressing the breach. This incident threats both reputation and customer trust, potentially resulting in decreased loyalty and operational disruption as resources are dedicated to manage the aftermath. Next, I will present about risk response planning. To address the risks effectively, Malaysian Airlines can consider various strategies. Firstly, it should avoid excessive reliance on external IT provider by integrating data management process internally. This involves establishing an in-house team, implementing robust security protocols, and regularly updating system. Additionally, mitigation efforts should focus on monitoring and assessing third-party provider, implement advanced encryption and strict access control. Acceptance of residual risks is crucial despite preventive measure. Finally, exploring cyber insurance coverage and holding third-party provider accountable through contractual agreement can transfer potential financial burdens. And next I will present is risk monitoring, controlling and reporting. For the risk monitoring is, in response to the data security incident at Malaysia Airlines, rigorous risk monitoring measures are essentially for promptly detecting and addressing potential vulnerabilities. Continuous surveillance of project risk involve incorporating regular risk review into project management meeting and milestone checkpoints. This ongoing assessment ensures that any emerging threat or change in project condition are promptly identified and addressed. Key tools and techniques such as risk reassessment and task status meeting enable us to stay vigilant and proactive in monitoring the evolving risk landscape. Additionally, maintaining a risk watch list prioritizes identify risks, enabling focused attention on critical areas that require immediate action. Next, I will present about risk controlling. Effective risk controlling strategies are crucial for mitigating the impact of the data security incident and preventing similar occurrences in the future. Controlling risk involves implementing targeted response, action, and treatment plans to address and identify vulnerability. This includes conducting risk audit to evaluate the effectiveness of our risk management process and identify areas for improvement. Utilizing techniques such as technical performance measurement, and reserve Malaysia help ensure to our project objectives are achieved while minimizing potential risks. And the last is risk reporting. Transparent communication through comprehensive risk reporting is essential to keep all stakeholders informed and aligned in addressing the aftermath of the security breach. This report serves as a crucial mechanism to provide insight into existing risks, opportunities, and the progress of response action. These reports are tailored to meet the informational needs of various stakeholders, including project manager, owners, and client. Key components of risk status report include summary of project risk, update on treatment, action progress, project schedule progress, and the status of project. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanif. My name is Mustamin. I will explain about risk management plan approval. This part have 4 elements, which is signature, name, title, and role, or detailed description about the role. Next slide is question 2. It's drafting policies and standard. First question is select a functional area within an organization. We choose HR, which is human resource, as our functional area. The second question is ensure that the policies and standards adhere to the best practices in terms of clarity, enforceability, and alignment with organizational goals. The first policies and standard is recruitment and selection policy purpose. The purpose for this policy and standard is to guarantee a natural, open, and merit-based hiring and selection procedure. It applies to all recruitment and selection activities within the organization. They have 3 standards, which is job description need to be precise and focus on the job's real requirements. After that, recruitment process must be unbiased and free from discrimination. And the last one is all applicants must be subject to impartial selection standards that are consistently implemented. Next policies and standard is information security awareness and training. So the purpose is to make sure all employees aware of information security and backup plan, and it applies to all employees. For the standard is IT department will guide and handle the training that cover about information security topics such as data protection, phishing awareness, and password security protection. Next is supervisor of head of IT department will be responsible and monitor for make sure all employees finish the training program that provided by company. So the last policy is employee code of conduct and workplace environment. This will explain about how the environment give the best quality of work. The purpose is to set expectation for employees to behave in their dealings with colleagues, and it apply to all employees. For the standard is to address honesty, integrity, confidentiality, and professional conduct. After that, employees are required to protect confidentiality and prevent from revealing confidential data without authorization. This can strengthen the company's top secret. The last one is employees are required to follow by all relevant law and rules, such as Code of Conduct in Malaysia, which is employees are prohibited on any bullying, harassment, or discriminations. And that's all from us. And I will end our PPT presentation, and thank you very much. Goodbye.